They were not joking when they said healing is not linear. Like, it really does ebb and flow so much, and it is so painful the majority of the time, I feel like. And then sometimes I feel like, yay, and I feel like I'm vibrating at a higher frequency and feeling better and feeling improvement and getting to experience the fruits of my labor, okay? And other times I'm like, I'm really struggling and I'm in a lot of pain and I'm still in a lot of emotional pain and I'm so emotional and just feel like I have so much that's unresolved, and I really just, this whole thing has helped me to do my best to stay present and take everything day by day, because we really, as much as we want to have like our 5-year, 10-year retirement plan, all of those things, you really never know. And I don't know if that's like a morbid or a cynical way to see it, or realistic, or both. Anyways, and so I don't know, I guess I mean it in the way that, in the sense that, I don't know, I just don't need to like be tripping out about what my future is going to look like. And it's just like with the Huntington's gene, I feel like it's crazy, because it's, I guess any medical concern or any medical scare would ultimately just like cause more anxiety. But that's very much how I feel. I feel like, gosh, could I have gotten anything more anxiety inducing in terms of like tripping out about the future, and like the unknown and the uncertainty and all of that. I don't know, but one of the things that I do know, or some of the things that I do know, is that I really need to just like push myself to do the things that I'm afraid to do or have been wanting to do, or within reason. But like one example is dancing. Like I have a weird fear of dancing. And it's interesting because I used to go to raves as like a 18, 19, 20-year-old, and obviously did not have a fear of dancing in those settings and felt very like free, actually. But besides that setting, I feel incredibly uncomfortable dancing. And I swear that's like, not to be dramatic, but it's generational trauma. And I need to, like, again, not to be dramatic, but dancing and art and creativity and creative expression are like essential to a human being. I'm convinced of that. That's why music can be so healing and can make us feel so much. And I wouldn't really know too much about how dancing makes you feel in terms of like, well, I would know because of, the experience I have dancing at raves. And of course I've danced a little bit here and there besides that, but like, you feel free, you feel good, you feel connected to your body. And there's a major disconnect for me, and almost like I'm about to burst into tears, but almost like a hatred that I have for my body. It's obviously really painful to admit. I don't know if I really knew it to that extent. But what else? That is what comes with like self-loathing. If you think about it, right? Like, if I don't love myself, then I don't love my body. And that is just such a shame, because we have this one vessel, and I don't know, at this point in my journey, I really just want to like take care of it the best I can without like spiraling too much, without thinking too much into the future, without too much what ifs. That's not helpful for anyone. And I also need to like remind myself that I'm still in the process of processing all of this. And so like, I think I will get to a place where I just have a better grasp on it, and it can be this like thing in the back of my mind or on the back burner, or I don't know. I guess we'll also see like how involved Huntington's will be in my life. And yeah, in this moment, it's just really easy to spiral. And again, like I mentioned, like feeling a lot of like tension and pain in my hands and my feet. And it's also hard to say because I've been doing a lot of driving, and I've always done a lot of driving, and it's always kind of like messed up my body. Like it'll move a hip out of place a little bit, or like cause a lot of, I just feel, and I'm sure that this is the case for most people, like in your dominant foot, like I think most of us have like tight tendons and muscles, but it just feels like magnified for me right now. I'm trying to just make peace with it and tell myself that it's like kind of like a carpal tunnel is what's going on for me. But then it's so easy to be like, well, I'm pretty sure that's what, like, that's one of the symptoms of Huntington's. But I really need to like stop with that, because first of all, I don't know for sure. And again, the mind is so powerful. Like, why would I just accept that that's what's going on? Like, no, it's carpal tunnel. First of all, we all have our phones in our hands so much. I'm super guilty of that. And I'm a little more at peace because when I hold my phone in my hand hurts more. And it's almost like your hand hurts so much because of how you're holding your phone. That's kind of what the like feelings and sensations are like. So I don't know, but I know that it's a little tricky to even explain where I'm coming from or how I feel. I feel like somewhat optimistic, and then another part of me, maybe like a third of me, feels like I'm quick to spiral, or I'm just nervous, or thinking about all the what ifs, or thinking worst case scenario, and it's just not healthy or helpful. So I want to stop that. But nonetheless, I know that it'll never hurt. Like, it'll only ever help me to do the work, do the healing, let go of all that has been holding me back and causing me pain. And yeah, so anyways, some of the things I want to do is like dancing. I recently did a hip hop dance class like in the last 6 months, and it was good. I mean, maybe I think I need to do it more to really feel like, wow, I really got something out of that. But I just felt really proud of myself for going to the class, because I've always said I'm the type of person that should go because I'm so incredibly uncomfortable dancing. So just getting out of my comfort zone is why I should go. So I'm glad I did that, but I do think I need to continue to go because, first of all, I didn't even hate it. I mean, I also didn't love it, but I also didn't hate it. And the exposure therapy worked. Like, I felt, slightly more comfortable dancing, and I was like, oh, like, the class isn't that bad. No one's staring and pointing at me. Like, nobody cares. So more of that. And, just healthy eating. I do intermittent fasting. I want to get more and more into like supplements. I really do think that like superfoods and certain supplements and herbs and things that come from the earth literally genuinely can heal our bodies. I just don't, I'm not trying to sound ungrateful, but I just don't really have access to like tons of superfoods and the best top of the line supplements. Like, for example, I know sea moss is incredible and incredibly healing. All of these, right? All of these superfoods and herbs and stuff, like I said. Again, I mean, I'm not trying to say that taking sea moss is going to cure me of my issue, but I don't think it could hurt. And just any type of feeling better in any area of my life, I guess that's what it really is realizing like any improvement, any progress, like feeling any better is what I'm looking for. Any relief, it's what I'm looking for. So just have to put in the effort to do those things. And what else? So the dancing, and really let me just touch on that again, like really just making dancing so much more a part of my life. Like the times that I've danced to like Britney Spears or NSYNC while I clean my house, those are always like so therapeutic and it's just so much fun. And why, that's another thing, have more fun. Do anything and everything that comes to mind that you want to do, that feels good, that's been bucket list, like just freaking do it. I'm just so into that. Like I mentioned, like that this has really been the kick in the butt that I've needed, and so for that I'm grateful. I don't love I just wish it didn't have to happen, of course, but the fact that I feel inspired to do things is nice, and I am proud of myself for that. So what else was I going to say? The other things, exercise, hiking, nature. This is TMI, but I'd love to do some, what is it called? Perineum sunning. If you know, you know. Again, I think it can be healing and just beneficial. And I think being abstinent and just not dating, or being open to dating really only if it's like with intention, but like not being on the dating apps. And I think decentering men is going to be a huge one for me. Like, this is embarrassing to admit, and maybe I have more to say about this. Like maybe it's just like a lengthier conversation, but the way I know that I haven't completely finished decentering men from my life is because, and I have done my part to like make an effort, like I've gone no contact with my dad, who's obviously the main male in my life, and I've have had times of being abstinent, being completely off the apps, being completely, my phone is dry, not talking to anybody. But what I will say is, and it gets, sometimes it's worse than others, but, and again, this is super embarrassing to admit, but it's like I'll go specifically in my car. I have this sensation or idea that I'm going to be in my car driving around, and a man is going to see me and somehow get out of his car or give me his phone number or get my phone number from the car while we're both in our cars. It is so bizarre. It is so like, honey, that's not going to happen. And even if it does happen, like, don't hold your breath. Like, why is that what I'm thinking about when I'm driving around? It's got to stop. Like, that's another thing I really want, again, is be intentional with what I'm thinking about, what I'm spending my time doing, etc. So if I'm going out in the car, and this has been an issue for me for years, and I will say I think sometimes it's worse than others. And sometimes, again, I think it's like, it's one thing to like get in your car, feel good, feel hot, have the music on, have the windows down, just like feeling yourself. That's great. But when you're literally like hoping, wishing, thinking that a man is going to see you while he's in his car, you're in your car. No, you know what? It can even happen. Also, if I'm on the street and he's in his car, or vice versa, if I'm in my car and he's on the street, it's like people don't just stop. First of all, people don't just stop people on the street driving, especially. So, but then again, I just watched The Valley, and Lala Kent was like, I saw a guy at a stop sign and we hooked up for a while, you know, like, so maybe people do. Maybe people do. But the point is, I don't want to be like driving around thinking about that, because that's not, why am I still seeking male approval? Why am I still seeking male validation? Why am I still seeking male attention? Like, why is that what's on my mind when I'm driving around? And it's really weird. Like, I don't even really want to be, it's like a subconscious mind, thought or belief or thing. And it's like, honey, let it go. Let it go. Like, just drive and think about something else. I gotta get creative. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna be thinking about. Moving on. But yeah, the decentering, and maybe that'll be a good litmus test. Like, once I'm done going out there, really just going out into public and hoping and waiting a man is gonna come up to me, like, babe, no. Again, like, it's okay to tell the universe that you're open to meeting a man in the wild, and, you know, if your life partner is meant to come up to you outside in the wild or at a grocery store or in a parking lot, then so be it, and that's amazing and that's incredible. And I do want to be open to that. In fact, I would love to meet somebody organically, genuinely. But I feel like there's a difference between that and kind of obsessively thinking or feeling like I'm going to meet somebody in public, or like, yeah, it just feels very male-centered, and just, I don't want it. I don't like it. I don't like the way it makes me feel. So, yeah. The other thing I was going to say was, I do a lot of, and again, I think there's a fine line with a lot of this stuff. Like, I do a lot of reality TV, and then I watch like podcasts about said reality TV, or just like cute girly podcasts, which I don't think is a crime, and I don't think it's a bad thing, but I don't want it to be like the only or main thing I consume. I really think I need to be like more focused on the audiobooks, or there's plenty of stuff on YouTube too, don't get me wrong, and I'm also sure there's plenty of podcasts out there about the stuff I'm concerned about, you know, having disease in your family, and, you know, spirituality and how the two intersect, and getting closer to God, and staying healthy, getting, you know, every type of podcast you could ever imagine exists. So maybe I need to like start looking for those more. It's just hard to like find a brand new podcast and give it a whirl and hope that you like it. And I've kind of stayed very small in terms of the podcasts that I like watch or listen to. It's just kind of like a select few. So anyways, yeah, like I said, different audiobooks. I have a deep calling to actually audiobook, to listen to the book. what is it called? Becoming Supernatural by Dr. Joe Dispenza. I think that's the first word, Becoming Supernatural. I might be getting the first word wrong, but I think I've started it many years ago, but that's what I need to read, that's what I need to know about, that's what I need to listen to. I remember him, and if I'm not mistaken, he starts off the book talking about his own back injury and how the doctors told him, it's much worse. It's, we're giving you these numbers and it's gonna take you X amount of time so you can walk again. And he basically told himself, he was like, that won't do. Like, I'm gonna heal myself quicker, and I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna visualize like every vertebrae being perfectly aligned, or whatever it was, something along those lines. So, hello, like, why wouldn't I be listening to that? Why wouldn't I be consuming that? How is that not more important to fill my brain with, especially at this time, when every little last thing that I consume and think about and talk about, and the people I confide in and the conversations I have are incredibly impactful. I think obviously just in general, right? That's what it means to be a human. But even more so when you're in a state of like hypersensitivity, I suppose. I guess that's a good thing to acknowledge. That's what's going on with me. Like, this is some heavy shit. No wonder I'm like crying every day. I'm like spiraling often, that's okay and that's normal. So anyways, yeah, those are some of the things that I want to focus on. And just, yeah, I think I hit everything. Enjoying life, doing the things I'm scared of, lots of like the natural things that we're supposed to be doing that feel good, creativity, creative expression, all of that, like, I'm really inspired, and like that feels good, and I'm wanting to do all of this, and I can do it. And it's also okay to feel like discouraged at times, or feel like I can't do it. Just keep it pushing, take it day by day. I got to start somewhere with all of this stuff. So thank you for listening. Bye.